Hey y'all, if you don't know, my name is Avanti. I would appreciate it if y'all subscribe. I promise you will not regret it. And this video is going to be an example of why that's not going to be a regret for you. Because today I am filming an unpopular opinions video. And I can guarantee I know of no other human that even comes close to thinking and having opinions and beliefs that I have, okay? Just check out my TikTok if you don't believe me, okay? It can get pretty wild, you feel me? So without further ado, AI. I personally do not believe that AI is a bad thing. Nothing is inherently good or bad. Look at the law of duality or the law of polarity. Everything has a polar opposite. Good and bad, hot and cold, love and hate, masculine and feminine. It is two sides of the same coin. You cannot have one without the other. Nothing is inherently good or bad. Duality exists in everything. So I know that if I can find the bad in a situation, then I can also always find the good in it too. What it states is basically that there's good and bad in all things. No one thing is just good or bad. And so when I look at AI, I just see it being a tool, right? The tool can be used to do evil shit, which I know the powers that be are definitely enacting all types of agendas to utilize AI in a bad, negative, evil way or whatever.
There's this transhumanism movement, and basically what transhumanism is using technology to enhance the body and or extend life. Some common ways that we've seen technology enhance the body is through prosthetics, for example, or like a pacemaker that is surgically placed inside your body to regulate your heartbeat. Those things are more so medically necessary, but there are people who are using this technology just purely out of desire.
I have in my left hand an RFID chip, that's my door key. In my right hand, I have an NFC chip, that is my business card. In the middle of my right finger, I have a magnet that lets me sense EM fields. I have the contraceptive implant, a 3D printed kneecap, and now 2 LED implants. Well, I've got a medical ID bracelet that I wear that says medical implant NFC scan finger webbing. They can tap my hand then to that, and it'll pop up with a web page I've made that has all of my medical history and my doctor's name if they need to talk to it. So say I go coma, it's also got a link to my will on there. You know, it's got everything in there. So I'm not, oh, Jane Doe in some hospital. It has all of this stuff.
I just feel like if you want to be a cyborg, go ahead. But my issue is just allowing these chips inside your body, and they're basically little computers. Like, can we trust these companies? Can we trust the system? No. To allow these things and allow them to control us, be able to control us or hack us from the inside out. Like, no, thank you. And listen to this. I found this very interesting and quite suspicious.
What chips do you have?
Literally none.
You've got none?
How controversial is that?
That's very interesting.
Is it not?
It's quite interesting that you are promoting it in a manner, yet you don't have them yourself.
For me, totally useless.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
So you're telling me that you're a mod doctor and you have a whole business dedicated to applying these technological modifications on people, but you yourself don't have any? And she has a whole podcast dedicated to informing and demystifying the concept around these things. I just find it a little weird. It wouldn't be so suspicious if you were just a doctor treating people with certain illnesses, because obviously those illnesses wouldn't apply to you if you don't have them. But these are just body and life enhancers for just desired or recreational purposes. It just makes me question how much you actually believe in the product for you to not utilize it but promote it to other people. There's also this talk of digital immortality, where you basically upload your consciousness or your memories and emotions into an AI bot. And I can honestly see the system using these things as a way to further their grip and control over the masses.
Artificial human. It's a little bit different from an AI. I was computationally created based on how real humans look and behave.
Mind files can be uploaded to AI avatars like these.
But I don't think it has to be. I mean, this is the thing. With AI, we've already been using AI. Like the term now is just kind of like, I mean, it's definitely more like intense, but AI has already existed, like with our phones, like Siri or Alexa is AI.
I don't think we realize how common AI has already been for us. Siri is AI, any type of voice assistant is AI, facial recognition is AI, self-cleaning vacuums is AI. It really can be used to make our daily lives better, and it already has been doing that. We're gonna be like Star Wars before long and have droids doing our chores for us while we get to do something else that we actually want to do. And I know that people worry about AI taking jobs. I personally don't believe that AI would be capable of taking everyone's job because, first of all, a lot of things require soul. It requires consciousness, which cannot be replicated. That's only organic. Because to be honest with you, I can really see us moving into a society where basically everyone is just working for themselves and completing their soul mission. So yeah, let that robot do that warehouse job and you go make a living walking in your purpose. Even with all this AI art, AI cannot take away your soul or your individuality, and that is your superpower. Half that shit looks warped and deformed, and if you look at it long enough, you can usually always tell that something is AI. So ultimately, it's just about how we utilize AI. Believe it or not, we control how we experience it because we are society. And to be even more honest, we've already been being manipulated through technology like the media, social media, TV. So that's nothing new, unfortunately. But are we going to continue to allow it to happen is the question.
And to be real with you, when it comes to technology, when the technology is revealed to us, it's already old. Like the technology has already existed for who knows how long before it's been presented to the general public. That's my opinion on AI. It's neither good or bad. It can be used for either. I think it can really help advance us. And I also think that it can really harm us if we allow it. Zoos. I legit do not think that zoos should exist. I think zoos are horrible for the environment, horrible for the planet, horrible for animals, of course.
I'm sure y'all have seen the animals in the zoo that bob back and forth like this, or the lions and tigers that just pace back and forth. Those animals are experiencing what's called zoochosis, which is a mental disorder from being kept in captivity. A lot of them have health issues. They have bad joints from having to walk on concrete all day. A lot of them are drugged up because of those issues and also to cope with being in confinement. You always see a sad-ass animal. The living conditions are poor. Even if the cage is clean, who the fuck wants to live in a damn box all day life? These animals are depressed as hell, and this is basically trafficking.
I think what should exist is sanctuaries. There should be sanctuaries that house animals who, for whatever reason, cannot live on their own or survive on their own in the wild, you know what I'm saying? Or rehabilitated animals that need rehab to transition back into the wild, whether it's like old circus animals or old zoo animals.
On the other hand, the wild animal sanctuary is focused entirely on the health, well-being, and long-term happiness of each of the animals that call the sanctuary home. Each animal is given enormous habitats, carefully designed to give them maximum space to roam freely. Underground caves, dens, and tunnels provide privacy and shelter from the elements. So, while visitors are always welcome in the sanctuary, they utilize an elevated walkway high above the habitats. This has absolutely no impact on the animals since they don't consider the sky their territory, and they don't feel as if they have to defend themselves from any sort of threat.
Sanctuaries are really cool because the animals are actually in a natural habitat. They actually have freedom to roam around instead of pacing back and forth in a 5x6 box. You know, some of these animals are used to traveling hundreds of miles a day. This is the thing, we're never going to be able to replicate nature. We will never be able to replicate the wild and their experience in the wild. And that is why they should stay there, and that is why there is no such thing as a good zoo. And something really, really cool about sanctuaries is that we will get to see the animals in a natural environment. It's kind of ironic because zoos are for our entertainment, right? But how boring is it to go to the zoo and just see the animals sitting there or pacing back and forth in an enclosure the size of your bedroom? But with sanctuaries, because they're in a natural environment, there would be so many spontaneous moments. We'll get to witness these animals interacting in a big natural habitat. Imagine watching a lion run at full speed, or seeing a bear standing as tall as it can on its hind legs, or watching the animals spray each other with water. Those things would be way more exciting and entertaining to witness. It honestly would be better for all parties because the animals won't be stressed and depressed and be acting weird because they're in a confined space.
I feel bad when I go to zoos and I see them damn animals sad as fuck walking around looking sad as fuck, sitting there looking depressed, because they have no life. They have no life. What do you expect? These animals don't have a life to live. They're literally in a cage, living out their entire existence. Who want to live like that? Do you want to live like that? You know what I'm saying? Zoos just shouldn't exist. I don't know if they still go out and just grab the animal from the wild and just snatch them. I mean, I hope not. We already know at this point that that's just not even, it's just immoral. Like, you can't just be kidnapping living beings and then putting them in a cage for your entertainment. Like, it's so barbaric, to be honest with you. I would love to see us move into a society where zoos don't exist, where we can just go and buy a ticket to see animals being depressed in a cage. For what? I don't even care to see them like that no more. Like, I don't know, once you reach a certain level, I just don't even care to see them like that no more. I mean, I've taken my son to the zoo, so I've been guilty too. I get it, okay? But that's not something that we should continue. We should not care about celebrities. At least not in the way that we do. Honestly, it's really, really toxic. It's kind of weird when you look at it, because it's like a lot of these celebrity fan bases are like very like cult-like.
Now, ain't no way y'all are sitting up arguing over people you don't even know. And that's what I'm getting at. Imagine arguing over a bitch that don't even know you exist. Like, now imagine applying this same energy into something that's gonna bring you value or sustenance to your life. And not to mention, how many times does a celebrity have to reveal their true selves and you realize they are a shitty person?
There was an Ellen that the public did not know.
The Ellen DeGeneres show is facing new allegations this morning.
Ellen's alleged bad behavior had been whispered about in the industry for years. But then BuzzFeed published this bombshell expose that revealed a toxic workplace culture at the Ellen DeGeneres show, with claims of alleged racism, fear, intimidation, and sexual misconduct.
The accusations were kind of wild against Ellen. Supposedly, you weren't allowed to look her in the eye, she treated staff like peasants, and one former writer of her show said that she had a sensitive nose. That means you weren't allowed to have bad breath, order fish for lunch, and she even would send home staffers who supposedly smelled to go take a shower.
Okay, so the ending cracked me up, because if you're at work with a stank mouth and body, then you probably do need to go home and shower and brush your teeth. But seriously though, Ellen is a great example of portraying a certain image that is completely fake and deceiving the masses. Everybody thought that she was America's lesbian sweetheart, but really she was at work on demon time, okay? Or like the time Doja was being rude to her fans, basically calling them bums if they call themselves kitten or kittens, which is a name that she came up with for her fan base. We just have to stop idolizing people that we don't know, treating them like fucking deities. The obsession is weird, and all these T pages and media pages that report on celebrities have millions upon millions of followers. And not that necessarily that is specifically an issue, but there are just a lot of people who are deeply invested into celebrities' personal lives. And if that's you, then you don't have enough goals and aspirations. I actually unfollowed the Shade Room's toxic ass page because I was like, okay, what am I really getting out of viewing this content? Like, I'm literally going to forget about this shit next week. And then there's going to be something else that happens and something else that happens. And then I'm spending hours upon hours investing my time and energy in this content that is serving me no purpose. What am I getting out of this shit? Absolutely fucking nothing. Zero benefit. And honestly, in the beginning, it was kind of hard to unfollow at first. I think you just get used to seeing the mess and being in the know. And then there's a sense of FOMO too. But I seriously have zero regret. I do not miss that shit at all. Like, I forget completely about it. And I honestly don't feel like I'm missing out on nothing. Absolutely nothing. If anything, I seriously feel like I've gained from unfollowing. But ultimately, I really think it's just about having balance. And also, we shouldn't be so easily influenced by them either. A lot of celebrities are just portraying an image.
Right? And like, we idolize celebrities way too much. To be real with you, we don't know these people. We don't know these people from a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? We just know them for what they show us. But who even is that? That is just an image, to be honest with you. Like, we know them virtually, and we already know the virtual world isn't real. It's virtual. So, like, we idolize these people, and we have no clue who these people are personally, what they do from day to day behind closed doors. You got regular people in these people DMs, under these people comments, wishing these people happy birthdays, Merry Christmases, and they don't even tell people in their own family that. It's just honestly just toxic, to be honest with you. It's nothing wrong with loving their work, loving what they offer, loving what they give to the world. There's nothing wrong with that. There's so many artists that I love, but anytime you'll hear me say I love an artist, I'm really only talking about their work as an artist, because I don't know them. I don't know them. I can't even really say I love their personality, because bitch, who are you? I don't know. I really don't know who you are. We really need to change our perspective on that. And like, these are just other humans who just have a following and a platform, who just create. I believe we're all creators anyways, but it just can become toxic. Not to mention, celebrities are used as puppets a lot of the time to just push narratives and other shit, but that's for another video. Spirituality is science. Spirituality equals science. If you look at quantum physics, okay, look at resonance frequencies.
Nikola Tesla was a popular inventor in the late 1800s and early 1900s. And one of his most popular quotes are, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." That is the same energy, frequency, and vibration that is used to manifest our desired reality, as well as the same energy, frequency, and vibration that we learn about in science class.
Do y'all remember being in science class and learning about atoms? So remember how everything is made up of atoms, and atoms are always and constantly vibrating. So in other words, this water bottle is vibrating, I'm vibrating, this couch is vibrating. And so because these atoms are constantly moving and vibrating, they're constantly giving off a frequency, right? Vibes, vibrations. So everything is always moving at an energetic frequency. The lesson that they forgot to teach us was that we are also that same energy. So the perks of us being alive and conscious means that we get to control our energy, which basically means we get to control our experience.
I know different people have different definitions of what spirituality means to them, but I just feel like spirituality is basically having awareness of what you cannot see with the human eye. So whether that be these energetic frequencies and vibrations, or your awareness of God or a higher power, just basically having knowledge and awareness of what's beyond this 3D physical materialistic reality. And believe it or not, science actually covers a chunk of that with vibrational frequencies and energies and resonance frequencies, quantum physics, things of that nature.
Right, it's all explained. People just don't know that because they're not told that. And unfortunately, with the people in society, they have to be told things by the school system or their pastor or whoever, or their parents, for them to believe it, or the news for them to believe it. If it don't come from those reliable sources, they don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? But just know that it is very much so science. It is science-based. It can be explained. And when I'm talking about spirituality, I am talking about energetic vibrations. I'm talking about frequencies. And to be honest with you, we do learn that like this much in school. It's just the word spirituality isn't used in that. But I mean, spirituality is just a label. We can take that word out and we can look at it for what it is. What is it? Okay, law of vibration, right? The law of energy, right? You attract what you emit, the energy that you emit. It's just all science. A lot of people on the internet who claim to be fans of anime are only fans because it's trendy and because they fetishize Asian culture. I remember how a lot of guys was like when it became a trend, they would be like, it was lame when I liked it, it was lame when I liked it, but now all of a sudden it's cool to like it. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just cringy to me. Like when I see people like posting certain stuff about it, like sometimes you can tell when it's just like attention or clap for it, or you're just doing it because like everyone else is and everyone else is talking about it. Because it's just kind of like, to me, if you're a true anime fan, like how everybody claimed they are, all the animes that you've watched wouldn't just be only the mainstream, most popular animes that trend on Twitter or whatever.
Ooh, y'all gonna hate me for this one, but Naruto is really what helped me solidify this opinion. But I remember watching Naruto with my friend, and I don't know what episode we was on, but I was like, bruh, this shit boring as fuck. Like, I'm finna fall asleep watching this shit. This shit is not interesting. And he was like, nah, these are just the filler episodes. They don't really matter to the storyline, so you don't really have to watch them. You can just skip those episodes. I was like, so you're telling me it's known in Naruto culture that there is just a bunch of random boring ass filler episodes thrown in the middle of the storyline, and people actually sit through that boring shit and watch the entirety of the show just to be able to say that they fully watched the Naruto? Yeah, that tells me exactly everything that I need to know. You ain't watching that shit to be entertained. You just watching it to be able to say that you watched it. Because why is you forcing yourself to watch something boring? Now, granted, I don't think that the whole show is boring. I'm just really talking about the filler episodes, because I didn't actually finish the show, and I'm not finna sit there and have to skip episodes. Like, that's doing too much. Just give it to me straight or not at all. And everybody hates the filler episodes. All filler episodes in all series and shows, whether it's cartoons, whether it's sitcoms or whatever, they are boring as fuck. They are the worst episodes ever. And Naruto has so damn many. The fact that y'all be sitting through that shit and watching it leads me to believe that there is some other motivation rather than just being a fan. It's giving because it's trendy. It's giving because you think it's cool. It's giving you want to be a part of the conversations, which is fine, but just admit it.
Halloween is low-key, high-key, low vibrational as fuck, to be honest with you. And to be like real, I really am not caring for it that much.
You cannot watch this shit and tell me that this shit is good for the psyche. Psychologically, mentally, spiritually. I get that it's fake, but it's just the imagery, the energy. We just had an energy lesson. I just don't think it's healthy, fake or not, for the mind to be seeing people getting murdered. And I don't like the energy that it gives, to be honest. It makes me anxious. Being sentient, being empathic, it just does not feel good watching this. And also, Halloween is one of the 2, I believe, holidays that's shared with Satanists. I wonder why.
And I feel like people enjoy the aesthetic of it, and I do too. I enjoy the aesthetic of it to the extent of dressing up, trick-or-treating, it being a celebration where people are on one accord and we get to create experiences together and have fun. But I gotta be real with y'all. Personally, I'm just not even like the type of person, like, I don't love horror. I don't love horror and gore. And some people do, and that's okay and that's fine. No judgment to those people. But at the end of the day, it just is low vibrational as fuck. The bad spirits come out during Halloween, literally. They're called out. Literally, it's murders, gruesome violence, and gruesome killings. It's bad energy, bad spirits, evil spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like, all surrounded around this day. So it's like, I mean, it is low vibrational as hell. And like, it gives me anxiety a little bit because I just don't love it. I will probably dress up like a whore this Halloween and just like have that vibe on my Mean Girls shit. But you know, other than that, honestly, the rest can just be kept. Like, I'm pretty much at that point with it. Like, I'm tired of watching a YouTube video and getting spooked from the fucking commercials and the fucking ads. I'm already over it, and it's not even fucking October. Bitch, it's September. Also, I was listening to a Shaman Durek, his podcast, or I don't know if it was his podcast, it was something. And he was talking about how he got drugged to the movies to watch, what was that movie called? Drag Me to Hell. And that's crazy because I said drug me. I'm getting scared. But anyway, yeah, he said he got, like, his friends kept begging him to go to this movie or whatever. He didn't want to go because he don't watch horror movies. He's a shaman. I don't know if y'all know what shamans are, but shamans are basically like the bridge between like the spirit world and like the human world. But anyway, he finally decided to go to the movie. He went to the movie, and on the part where they were in the parking garage, and the lady was like casting like the spell on the girl, he literally said he got up and walked the fuck out because it was a real spell being casted. And he was like, oh my God, all of these people, all of these eyes and these bodies are sitting here watching this on this huge screen, listening to her speak these words, and are receiving that energy. And he was like, this is exactly why I don't partake in these types of things, because this is what's happening and what it is. And we already know that the powers that be use the media and things like that in order to, you know, program society, keep the planet low vibrational and things like that. So yeah, that's just, it turns me off. I'm not gonna lie. Religion is just someone else's interpretation of what God is.
Religions are just a set of beliefs or ideals usually associated with a higher power. And when you look back at the origin of religions, it is always created by a person, meaning religions are man-made. So these set of beliefs, aka religion, are based off of another man's words, another man's beliefs, and how they perceive God. And you don't know the intentions of the people that created religions. Is what they're saying are true? Is it being told to manipulate me? And I get that nobody wants to ask these questions because religions are a serious part of people's lives, and it's often looked down upon to even question it. But what's crazy is that it is probably the single-handedly most important thing to question. It literally affects your relationship with the higher power, with God, with how you experience God, with how you experience life. I do not want to rely on another person, another man, to tell me how to experience God, how to have a relationship with God, and how I should view life itself. Personally, I would prefer to experience it on my own with God directly and not through another person. And that's probably another unpopular opinion in and of itself, which is God is better without religion, or you can have God without religion.
It's honestly a lot to unpack in that statement. That's honestly probably like a whole other video. Most religions already have their set of rules, principles, and beliefs, right? So that means that someone else set that. So that was someone else's doing and knowing. That's someone else's beliefs on what God is. Everybody is a bot. Everybody has a programmed personality that was given to them until they decide to reprogram themselves. What do I mean? Everybody is a bot because we live in the fucking matrix, bitch. We are living in the matrix, all right?
Everything has been infiltrated. Anything that the powers that be created or control is simply only meant for them to gain power and control. Whether it's public school where they don't teach you anything valuable about life, or being lied to about historical facts. We just talked about religion, which is, again, a construct created by people. We have movies, TVs, the media where they throw in predictive programming bullshit. Hollywood being filled with all these evil, nasty, weird, sick individuals. Even all the way down to how we take care of ourselves. We have big pharma that just administer drugs that only subside symptoms and don't cure the actual problem. We have people who believe in the illusionary of politics, where they argue and fight with the other party and actually believe if we vote, it'll make a change. But in truth, if you want to see a change, the best way to do it is to go out and make the change yourself, instead of asking a system that's not really meant for us to live better and evolve. So what I'm getting at is that if you haven't questioned yourself, question your labels and the things that you identify with, then it may be possible that you're identifying and labeling yourself with one of the constructs that was created by this false system. And at that point, you're a bot because you're exactly who you were taught to be.
We are living in the constructs and the confines. This reality, low-key BS. Think about it. Whenever you're born, you're given your belief, you're given your religion. Whatever your parents believe is what's handed and passed down to you. And that's everyone in your environment. So even when you begin to grow as an adolescent and adapt your own personality from the things in your environment, well, if everybody in your environment was just given their own set of rules and their own set of beliefs, that means no one chose that for themselves. So until you have chosen for yourself and decided to look at yourself and ask yourself those hard questions, do I really like this? Do I really believe this? Do I really have this opinion? Am I really this way? Then you're still a bot. Billion-dollar corporations do not have to be corrupt to be billion-dollar corporations. A lot of people think that money is the root of all evil. Money is power, power is evil. You know what I'm saying? It can be those things, but again, nothing is inherently good or bad, right? So with that being said, companies can very much so be profitable and be wealthy without shitting and stepping on whoever to get to that place. They are just not held accountable. So there's no reason for them not to shit on people. And it might be the easiest way for them to do it, so they do it that way.
I want to mention capitalism because capitalism is known for prioritizing profit over everything, including the well and state of being of their workers, which essentially leads companies to do things that may be deemed as injustice, immoral, or inhumane. But I genuinely don't believe that it has to be this way. This is just what the current system is.
A wealthy company and a successful company don't have to be corrupt to get to that point. We very much so have the ability to live in a utopian society. Everything here on earth, my lighting might very well be different because I had to switch it up. Oh my God, I hope it's not too different. Oh my God, okay, let me see. Every and anything that we've ever needed is already here, first of all, number one. So there's no reason why there's scarcity. There's no reason why we need to be fighting over anything. You know, there's an abundance of everything that we've ever needed that already exists. And to add to that unpopular opinion, we have to take accountability on the fact that we are not living in our utopian society because we've allowed ourselves to be manipulated into thinking that we can't. Next unpopular opinion. A lot of people are not really conscious like how they say they're conscious. A lot of this shit is just trending shit, and a lot of this shit is just, you know what I'm saying, it just sounds good and it sounds cool or whatever, right? That's not even an unpopular opinion, because that's probably a popular opinion. The unpopular opinion, to add on to that, is I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that spirituality, starseed, generational curses, things like that are trending words, because that at least means that people are open to the real definition of those things, and they're open to spirituality, they're open to evolving and ascending and evolution and all those things. I think that it is at least a step in the right direction, even though a lot of people are kind of like fake with it or whatever. They think that there's something that they're not. It's like, okay, at least it's being talked about, because that's progress, baby. That's it don't matter if it's a baby step, it's a step, and I'll take it. The vegan community is low-key toxic as fuck. I'm sorry. Like, and there's sides to it. Of course, not everybody, right? But like, when I was super into veganism, and I was a vegan for a while, like, I really couldn't tell at the time, but a lot of the vegan pages and channels and things that like I would like consume, honestly would tell me that I'm gonna die if I keep eating this or that. Like, literally, they will say exactly that. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. That's how they'll talk. They'll talk very like aggressive, toxic to me. Like, that's just how it feels. And I don't even think that that's productive. If you're trying to get people to be vegans, I don't think that you should force them into it with fear. I'm so against fear mongering. I hate it, to be honest. And that's what a lot of vegan people do. Like, a lot of, like, I ain't gonna say a lot. Some vegan people who have platforms, like, I've seriously had to unfollow. I just don't like that vibe and that energy. It just don't vibe with me, because it's very much so a toxic way to try to get someone to force them to be vegans and to force your own personal beliefs onto them, and I do not like that. Y'all might hate me for this one, but Black people do victimize themselves too much. Being a victim will only keep you in victimhood. You'll never progress and move on from that. Well, it's the same way. Like, it applies the same way to this. This is the thing. And I made a TikTok video that like explains it more. Maybe I'll insert it, I don't know, just to get my point across more. But the issue with it is just like, of course we've been victims. We've had extremely horrific things happen to us. That is extremely sad. We deserve everything. We deserve everything, especially because of what we've been through. But this is the thing. This is the difference between being a victim of that and not. We deserve everything, but who's gonna give it to us? We have to give it to ourselves, and we're not gonna give it to ourselves by being victims. That's where the issue comes in. That's what the issue is by assuming or trying to force someone else to give us what we know we deserve. We know we deserve the world. We know we deserve inclusivity. We don't have to ask nobody to give that to us. We can give that to ourselves. Only a victim is going to ask their oppressor to free them, to no longer make them a victim. No, you no longer make yourself a victim. That's the whole point of it all. Also, on a spiritual tip, which I talk about in my TikTok video, is that you experience what you believe you're going to experience. So if you walk out in the world and think that you're going to have horrible experiences because you're a Black person, then you will. The universe is only going to meet you where you at. So if that's really like the opinions and the beliefs that you're harboring, you're going to be shown that that is the truth in your reality. You shouldn't walk around thinking things are going to happen to you that you do not want to happen to you. Again, it's basic physics. Again, it's basic science. You're going to attract whatever you're emitting, whatever frequencies you're emitting and you're holding within your being. Believe it or not, in this spiritual warfare that's going on, the light is winning. First of all, the light always wins, number one. Number two, the light is winning. It feels like the world has gone to shit and that we're not going to recover and that the world just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. But really what's happening is that the bad is just coming to the surface. It's always been there. We just ain't been able to see it. We have to be shown the bad that's going on so that we can wake up to the fact that it's even going on, so we can choose a different route, so we can choose to do it differently moving forward. So the bad has to be purged out, and we are supposed to look at this bad and say, you know what? All this stuff has been going on. We've been allowing it to go on. What can we do to make sure that it's no longer happening in society? Are we doing that? I hope we're doing that. Or are we just thinking that it's just getting worse? I get why it would feel that way. The news wants to make you think that, right? Stop watching the news. Don't watch the news, because it's going to make you feel that way. The news only reports on horrible things that's happening in the world, right? The news is low vibey as hell, to be real. But the light is winning despite how it feels and how it looks. And again, if you hold that belief, that will only aid in the light winning so much more. We don't know how powerful we really are. So I'm gonna just leave the video with that. I hope y'all like my unpopular opinions. Let me know if y'all really feel like they were unpopular. You know, because a lot of people be dropping unpopular opinion videos and they don't even be unpopular. It just be like, girl, this is what the world thinks. Everybody think like that, which is okay, whatever. But let me know what y'all think. Let me know your opinion, your beliefs. They can be different. It's whatever. I respect everybody's point of view and perspective. It is what it is. Everybody's not gonna think the same or think alike. Whatever. Anyway, I really have fun filming this video. I really like talking about like just different beliefs and opinions that I have. And yeah, I would love it if you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.